Jennifer, now with the coronavirus crisis and people not able to meet up, do you think Scientology and other cults as well will be able to keep their hold? How do you think they will keep up the indoctrination? Do you think a lot of people will leave their cults because they will have time to think about what they are doing? Or do you think they will double down? Thanks for the question, Jennifer. And I'm going to give you some guesses here and some, supposition, because of course, who knows what's really going to happen or how things are going to progress. I think that we're going to see a little uptick in people doubling down on belief, for sure, in times of desperation and extremism. And, threats to survival. People definitely tend to go more spiritual, more doubling down, more looking to God or supernatural solutions. That's just, historically what people do. When it comes to not being able to meet up, though, see, that's a big deal. And I think that actually is probably going to have more of a detrimental effect on religion as a whole across the United States, because a big, huge part of the comfort and peace of mind that religion brings is the comfort of collectiveness and going to a place where there are other people who are sympathetic to you, you're sympathetic to them, you're all on the same wavelength, kind of thing. Everybody's agreeing, everybody's singing the same songs, feeling the same emotions. That's the thing that brings that feeling, those feelings of togetherness and collectiveness, and make it real. And it's not the same thing, unfortunately, for many of us over the internet. It's a little bit the same, but it's really not exactly the same, because that connection, that physical connection, is not there. And that's going to impede the ability of these groups to be able to, even when they do virtual meetups or virtual congregation meetings, and of course many churches are flaunting those social distancing rules and are meeting anyway, specifically because they know that it requires continual reminding, continual indoctrination, if you will, to keep the beliefs current and in people's minds, because these things tend to fall away. You stop going to church, you become a lapsed Catholic, a lapsed Christian, a lapsed Jew, whatever. And it's not on your mind as much anymore. And you're not, because you're not having to think about it. People aren't telling you, you're not going to a sermon, you're not reading your Bible, you're not reading your holy book, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. This isn't just with Christianity, this isn't just with Scientology. Scientology specifically now is particularly susceptible to this, because keep in mind that Scientology is not a religion in the same sense as all these other groups that you think about, in that Scientology is not about large group gatherings, except when they're doing David Miscavige's briefings. That kind of large group briefing is very necessary for Scientology, and the fact that they won't have those for a few months is going to have a detrimental effect on the minds of the viewers, of the followers, because they're not going to be getting their indoctrination. They're not going to be getting those false statistics and expansion of Scientology and how great it's doing in the world, and they're not going to see supposed world leaders talking grandly about Scientology, and they're not going to see any of that stuff. So that's going to impact on the ferventness of their belief. But more importantly, much more importantly, both to Scientology's money model and to the indoctrination, is the core activity of the Church of Scientology is auditing people. It's the one-on-one counseling, and that's where they make their money. They can make thousands of dollars an hour on an individual parishioner going to Clearwater and paying the big bucks for the big auditing there. And anywhere they go, they're making, hundreds of dollars per hour on that auditing. So with social distancing and with people not being able to gather and not being able to go into the churches, they've even got now, they'll send the auditor to you. They'll send them out to your home, as though that makes any damn sense right now. But that's what they're trying to do. Why? Because that's their money maker. If they can't deliver auditing, then they're not going to be making any money. At least not on services. And when that's not happening, then you know what else isn't happening? As I mentioned earlier, the euphoria generation, right? The thing that keeps them coming back for more is that sense and feeling at the end of every auditing session that they've accomplished something amazing and they're in a spiritually better place. This is a temporary feeling. It's this euphoria. And when that dies down, then they want more auditing. They go get some more. And or they feel like their life's in the doldrums and all of that. And there's a lot that can be said about this. There's a whole lot more about this, but I'm trying to keep it simple. So I'm just saying that Scientology can't do that as effectively right now. So, of course, they're going to have, as this continues over time, this could have a detrimental effect. It all depends on how long these requirements are going to go on for. And since they're probably only going to be going on for a few more weeks or maybe a couple months at the most, it's not going to be that big of a detrimental effect. It's not like they're going to see any mass exodus because of this. Scientologists are not on that title line of indoctrination. They can keep it up for quite a while without having to get mainline exposure to David Miscavige or to an auditing session. I'm just talking in general terms about how this business model kind of works, actually. So, the continual contact and the reinforcement of the indoctrination is a necessary action for all these groups to actually keep their hold on people. And the more extreme the group is, the more and more necessary that personal contact is. So that's what I can say about that, and I hope that was interesting.